In this video, we're going to learn how to make a birth plan. What is a birth plan and what to include in it? There are babies being born every single day. So let's make a birth preference list that's going to help us get prepared for our babies of 2021. Welcome back to the couch. My name is Melissa and this is Couch Mom Club. Birth plans have become really popular in the last few years. And if you're pregnant right now, you might be considering creating one for yourself. This video is going to give you a few pointers on how to make an effective birth plan. If you click this video, it's either because you need help developing a birth plan for yourself, or you're curious and you're asking the question, what is a birth plan? A birth plan is a one-page list that outlines your preferences at the time of delivery. This plan is going to help you feel more prepared at the time of your delivery. It is also going to help your support team as well as your medical team know what to do to help you to feel more comfortable when you are giving birth. Now, your next question might be, what should I put in my birth plan? I created a one-page birth plan that I have organized into 4 different sections. It's really easy to use and it has all your information right here on just one page. If you'd like to download your own free copy, visit my website. I'll put the link in the description down below. Don't forget, we're doing Mum's the Word at the end of the video, so stay tuned. My birth plan template is broken up into 4 major sections. The introduction section of your birth plan is going to just outline who you are and who your partner is. Just the name is fine in those areas. Also, you're going to let your team know who your supporters are. Then you're going to put the name of your supporter as well as their relation to you. So for example, if your sister will be in the room for you, put her name and then write sister. The second section of the birth plan is what happens before the baby comes. Here you want to put the names of your medical team, maybe your OBGYN or your midwife, the names of the people that have been looking after you during your pregnancy. The other part in this section is what will you do with your cord blood and what will you do with your placenta. With your cord blood or your placenta, you can specify your plans. Do you want to save it? Do you want to donate it? Or would you like to get rid of it altogether? There's a number of different things that you can do with either the cord blood or the placenta, and this is something that you want to consider before you go into labor and before you're having your baby. This is not a decision that you want to make when you're actively in labor. Also in this section, you want to specify what is your plan for labor. Do you plan to labor at home or do you plan to go into the hospital and labor in the hospital? At that point, you need to specify what your positions will be. Will you want to walk up and down the hallways? Would you want to walk around in your room? Or will you want to lay down while you are going through your labor? The third section of your birth plan is what happens during labor. You want to consider things like what you're going to do to manage pain. For example, do you want to be offered an epidural? In this section, you also might want to include what position you want to give birth in. For example, you do not have to always be laying down on the bed. You have to do whatever you feel comfortable with. Explain to your nurses the most comfortable position for you to give birth in, and have your team rally around you so that you can give birth to your baby in your desired position. In this section, you may also want to include the type of environment that you'd like when you're giving birth. For example, is there a song that you'd like to be playing, or would you like essential oils for a particular smell in the room? Consider those things and include them on your birth plan. The last section of your birth plan talks about what to do after the baby is born. Here you're going to consider things like, how will you feed your baby? Would you like to breastfeed exclusively or would you like to bottle feed your baby? Now, whatever your preferences are in this area, just ensure that you know the reasons why you're choosing one way or the other and that you have a team that will advocate your preferences for you. In this section, you want to outline sleeping arrangements. Will the baby sleep with you? If there's a nursery in the hospital, would you like to take advantage of that? And for yourself, would you like to be interrupted through the night, maybe every hour or two, or do you want to try to sleep sound? Include all of that in your birth plan so that your team will know exactly what you need in order to feel comfortable and feel prepared when you give birth. Before we get into Mum's the Word, I need to say a few things. The reason why I call this a birth preference list is because when you call it a birth plan, it doesn't leave room for a little bit of flexibility. Sometimes life happens and your plan will not go according to plan. Like me, I had to go into the hospital expecting to give birth naturally and wound up in a situation where I had an emergency C-section. There are so many reasons why you may not be able to stick to the plan. so remember to be flexible. I would also like to encourage you to take advantage of a possible hospital tour. Before you have a baby, call the hospital that you intend to give birth in and schedule a tour. Someone will be able to show you the delivery ward and introduce you to the team that might be there the day that you have your baby. Then is an appropriate time to ask your questions. Even find out how a birth plan might be received. It is at that point where you'll get a good understanding of how your team is going to receive your birth plan. One thing that you need to be mindful of is the fact that we are living in a very different time. How we have babies, what the hospital regulates, the rules, the stipulations, everything around hospital visits might be a little bit different. Call ahead of time so that you can get the information that you need in order to feel prepared when you birth your 2021 baby. I just want to congratulate all the expecting mamas of 2021. I hope that you enjoyed this video, but before you leave, let's get into Mum's the Word. Last week, I asked you a question about self-care. I wanted to know what self-care looked like to you. Azzy from Beauty and Breast said that self-care is taking time to herself, getting away from all the noise, even the noise of her own thoughts. And you know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like a nap, and I am here for it. This week on Mum's the Word, I want to ask you a question about Black history. Since it's February 1st and all of February is Black History Month, I want to know, do you know a Black female inventor? I'll go first. Lida D. Newman invented the hairbrush, and I think that is awesome. I use a hairbrush, not every day, but I use it pretty often. Now it's your turn to answer. Put your responses down in the comments below, and check me out on Instagram so you can answer the question in my stories. Don't worry if you don't know. Use it as an opportunity to Google an answer or do a little research. You'll have fun, I promise you. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I am so glad that you're here. And if you're not already part of the club, go ahead and click that subscribe button and ring that bell so that you're notified when I post new videos. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I will see you in the next video.